All right, everybody. Today we're going to work on creating a barley twist candlestick using conversational cam. Over here on the right side of my screen, I've already sketched out the candlestick. And so from here, we're going to go ahead and bring in all of this over to conversational cam. So we'll start by going to File, New Part. We're going to call this a candlestick, and we're going to call this barley twist. That way, if you make a rope or fluted or whatever else, we can differentiate those ones. You can fill out the rest of the stuff, designer. You can say yourself or me or whoever. And then we're going to give it a description. And all we're going to do here, this is going to be our size. So in this one's case, we're going to do a 3.1875 by 14. And that's just for ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and click on OK. I'm going to go over here and we're going to make a new blank. So assuming we don't have the blank already, we're going to come over to here. We're going to call it a square turning blank because most of them are going to be square. You can also cut the corners off of it, so make it go a lot faster, and you can turn it to the polygon turning blank. So either way, whatever you're going to do, we're going to leave it at square. Blank description. All this is for us to differentiate one blank from another blank. So if you look over here, I've already got a 1000 and a 1001. So today is going to be a 1002. Okay. Blank height is going to be 3.1875 or 3 and 3/16. Blank width is going to be the same. And then the length is going to be 14. Okay. At that point, we're going to click on Save New. It's going to come up here to the very top. I'm going to click on it. And show right here. We're going to say Select and Exit. That's going to define our blank right up in here. Now, the next things we're going to do are just add all of our toolpaths to this. The first toolpath we're going to add.
On your screen, is it split so you can see both of them?
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to add is going to be the turning round toolpath. We're going to take this from a square, four-sided piece into a round. And this is going to be the only toolpath that defaults a cutter. This is a 2704. This is the 1¼ surfacing bit. Okay, we're going to select that one. And if you look over here, we're going to turn it round to 3 1/8. So we're going to take just a 16th off that diameter. So our process name is turning round. Okay. Is the part already turned round? The answer is no, it is not already round. Starting position, I'm going to start at 0. Diameter, so this is the finished diameter at the start position. It's going to be 3 1/8 or 3.125. End position is going to be 14. The diameter is going to be the same, 3.125. All the rest of these numbers you can either modify, change, or leave the same. It's totally up to you. Because this is our first project together, we're going to leave everything all default valued out. Going to be a little slower than I like it, but good to begin. So finish and save. Once we've turned the whole thing round to 3 1/8, we need to then go in and we're going to put our 2 tenons in either end here. Okay, so we're going to go here to Add New. We're going to go turning round again, but this time we're going to do it a little different. We're going to use a different cutter. We're going to use a straight bit, but we're going to use a 1/2 inch diameter because we're only turning here from 1.5 to 2.5. And so that 1¼ cutter won't fit. So we're going to use this one here. We're going to select and exit. Process name. This is going to be tenon 1. It's going to be the first tenon or the tenon on the right, on the left side. Is the part turned round? It actually is this time. Section diameter is 3.125 or 3 1/8. Our start position, we can look over here, is going to be 1.5 and we're going to end at 2.5. So 1.5. Okay. Diameter at the start position, we look right here, says 1.5 as well, 0.5. End position, 2.5. And diameter at end position is 1.5. So no taper, just a straight down. Okay, we're going to finish and save. We've now added our first tenon. We're going to come down here to the other side and do the exact same thing. So we're just going to add new, turning around again. Again, we got to go pick our cutter because it always defaults back to that original surfacing bit. Okay, this is going to be called tenon 2. Okay. And we'll just start down our questions. Is it turned round? Yes. Section diameter, 3.125. Start position. On this one, it's going to go from 12.5 to 13.5. So start position, 12.5. diameter 1.5, end position 13.5, diameter 1.5, and finish and save. So now we've just generated both of our tenons and our turned round part. Next thing we're going to do in the final step in making a barley twist candlestick, putting the barley twist on the candlestick. So we're going to go to add new. We're going to go spiral barley twist, this guy right here. We'll click on OK. We're going to select our tool. In this one's case, we used a 2-inch diameter barley twist. So we can come down to our filter here. We're going to go to barley twist. I'm just going to grab my 2-inch. Select and exit. This is going to be called barley twist. And the barley twist start point is actually down here in the center of the cutter. So not at the edge where the cutter starts, but in the middle of that cutter. So we're going to start at 3.5, okay, 3.5, okay, and we're going to end at 11.5, 11.5. We're going to use the whole profile height, and I'm going to change our starts to 3. Now here you can define if you want to go to the, up to the left or up to the right. And then of course our section diameter is 3.125. We're going to finish and save. Now the last thing we're going to do is going to give us just an end, a nice cut at the beginning and the end of the barley twist, just to make it look a little nicer. So we're going to go add new and go turning tool profile. Okay. And we're going to use that same barley twist as before. This one's going to cut in at the 3.5. So we're just going to say 3.5. X-axis position. Oh, wow. Process name is Barley Twist Profile 1. Now we're at 3.5. Profile height, yes. And section diameter is 3.125. Again, a lot of these things are already put in there. We're just going to leave them alone for now, but we can play with those later on as we get more comfortable with the program. Okay, I'm going to add new. Do the same, turn into a profile. Get the same cutter. Process name is Barley Twist Profile 2. X-axis position. I'm going to come over here. It'll be 11.5. Everything stays the same, and we come down here to 3.125. We're going to finish and save. All right. Now that we've got the barley twist done for the candlestick, we're going to go ahead and make it a hollow twist. So let's go ahead and make a hollow barley twist. We're going to add a new process. We're going to call this the spiral twist because we're not using a barley twist bit. We're not using a rope bit. We're just making that same twist. Go ahead and say OK. And we're going to pick for our cutter that same flat bit that we were using earlier. So we're going to come up to our tool type, our filter here, and let's go to end mills. And we're going to grab this guy here. This is the 285B. We're going to go ahead and select it. Okay, process name on this one is going to be called hollow spiral. Okay, now our start position and our end position for our barley twist was 3.5 to 11.5. We want to start our hollow spiral about 1 inch in. Okay, and so we're going to do our start position at 4.5 and our end position at 10.5. Our number of starts are going to be 3, and our spiral pitch is going to be 6. Now, why it's 6 is because we used a 2-inch diameter barley twist, and we had 3 starts. So 2 times 3 equals 6. That means at every 6 inches, you get 1 full 360-degree rotation. So now we have to decide our start rotation. Now, it's going to be 60, and here's why. If you have a 6-inch linear movement per 360 degrees, then every 1 inch rotates 60 degrees. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and because we moved it 1 inch, we're going to rotate it 60 degrees. The direction of our spiral here needs to match what we did before. We left it on the left side, so we're going to use the left side again here. And then our section diameter is going to be the same, 3.125. Okay, here's where it's going to get a little tricky. Our rough plunge percentage, I'm going to put at 50%. So it's going to go down and then down again, the exact same amount. The next thing it's going to ask us is going to be, do we want to use the profile height? And the answer to this one is absolutely not no. So we're going to say no. Now our cut depth, we're going to set to be at a 1/2 inch. That means that each step down is going to be a 1/4 inch step down because we're doing 50% on our rough plunge percentage. The other thing I also want to change is our feed rate. Our rough pass and our finish pass feed rate, I want them the same because we're doing something a little different than what we would normally do for this. So I'm going to take this one and bring it down to 120. We're going to keep it a little bit slower because as we're getting more and more towards the center of that one, it's going to get a little bit more scary, I'd say. So let's keep it a little bit on the slow side. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish and save. So here we have our new code. Now this takes a little bit of hand coding. So we're going to go ahead and generate all of our code by making our G code. And this time we're going to just save it again. And this is going to be called Barley Twist Candlestick like before, but this time in the beginning we're going to put hollow because we're going to hollow that one out. So now with the hollow done, let's minimize this and open up our code. Okay, so let's take a look at our code here. Put this right here, bring this down. So we have our first is we're turning round. Okay. Then we go into our 2 tenons, tenon 1 and tenon 2. Then we do our barley twist, 1, 2, 3 starts there. And then we do our barley twist profiles, 1, 2 right there. And now we're at our hollow spiral. We have 1, 2, 3 starts there. So we need to take our code and dissect it a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to make this a little bit bigger on our text. And go up here to our font. Okay, and I'm going to make our size, let's make our size like 24 so it's nice and big. Okay, there we go. Now here's our hollow spiral. And what I want you to notice is that we grab our cutter, we turn it on, we rotate our first 60, then we make our cut, then we rotate another 60, we make our next cut, and rotate, oh sorry, then rotate 120, make our next cut, and then make another at another 120. Because 120 is going to be 1/3 of 360. So we start at 60, move an additional 120, then move an additional 120 again. So let's break this code into 3 sections. We're going to put an enter right there, and an enter right there, enter right there, enter right there, enter right there, and an enter right there. If we were to look at both of these code here, this section here and this section here, it's exactly the same. So we're going to edit one and then copy the other two. So let's get rid of this. And let's get rid of this. Okay, now that we've deleted these two, we want to take these lines of code. So I want to break this out here. I want to take this one, this guy, this one, and this one. I'm going to do our rotations and our movements. So, and let's go ahead and copy these 4 lines out. Copy. And let's paste them right here. Okay, so if this is our number here, and we're going to take it down 1/4 of an inch, we're going to use our calculator for this. So we're going to go 1.0625, we're going to subtract 0.25. Our next would be 0.8125. So this number here becomes 0.8125. Okay. Then we subtract another 1/4 inch, and this number here becomes 0.5625. Okay. Now we take this one, copy, and we paste it again. Okay. So from here, we're going to subtract another 1/4 inch. Okay. So this becomes 0.3125. Okay. And we're going to subtract another 1/4 inch, and this one becomes 0.0625. We're a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. And then just for good measure, we're going to add one more. Okay. And this one is going to be Z0. So it's going to come where it's really small. And then this one is going to be Z negative 1/16, just beyond that 0 point. That's going to be really important to finish out with just a little bit beyond the 0 point. Okay, so now we take all of this from our original all the way down to our new stuff, and we're going to do our lift because we need to make sure we lift up out of the way. We're going to copy that. We're going to paste it here. Okay, and then we're going to paste it again right here. All right, So now what we've done is we've built everything we needed to make and generate all of our code. All right, so this is now ready to go. We're going to go File, Save, okay? And the hollow spiral is now done and ready to go out onto the machine.